Test 1 2, test 1 2.
Stop.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve.
Nick Reynolds, Steve Harness, and Cousin Brewski. The Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. It's The Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve Brewski. You hear those Pixies ringing in the background, and they're out on tour right now. Just got to see them, and they are still killing it.
How are the Pixies and the Breeders out on tour right now? Because the Breeders are members of the Pixies. You just blew my mind.
Yeah, where is your mind? I mean, that's what we need to know, right?
Usually in the gutter.
It's The Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve Brewski. Go check out our webpage, thevocalminority.net. You can see our socials there, communicate with the show, and say hi to Brewski. Steve, please.
Hi, Brewski. How you doing?
I'm all right, Steve. How are you doing today?
I'm hanging.
No more bats flying around in the harness belfry?
The day's not over yet, so who knows? I did just have two bears in front of my house earlier.
Yeah, you are living in a wildlife refuge.
Wait a minute. Are you telling me that they had parked their motorcycles right in front of your house?
No. These are animals, Brewski. Not gay hairy men.
Are you talking about like circus bears? Because I've seen some of those ride motorcycles.
No, yeah, because, they got the leather and the cigars and all that sort of thing,
No, these are actual bears. We got a family in this neighborhood, and these two baby bears. It's on Facebook. You guys can see them. But, yeah, they were hanging out outside. I got up on the roof of my garage and was taking pictures of them. But these are the two bears that broke into Dottie's minivan a couple of weeks ago. And I had to go get them out of her car. Like
convicts,
face to face with these little bears.
Where was Mama when you were face to face with those tiny bears?
About 10 yards up the road. I mean, she was sitting right there with both eyes staring at me like, you better not cross the line there, dude.
You've got a small brain or big nards, dude. Which is it?
Big nards.
Of course. For you to go eye to eye, face to face with cubs with a mama bear that close is just, I mean, I don't know how Dottie didn't get wet watching you save her car.
I hope she did, quite frankly. I think I earned it. But,
that was a much more heroic moment than you saving a floaty this past summer.
I don't distinguish my acts of heroism. I'm just heroic in general.
Yeah. And it's nothing you can turn on and off, right?
No, it's just there, man. When the bat signal goes off, I leap in action. And, listen, bears inside cars around here is a common thing, and they will destroy the car. And I know that is not a headache she needed to be dealing with. But I also always tell people, like, bears are not man-eaters. Unless it's a mama bear and there's cubs right there, then you better be careful.
Yeah.
It was a hairy situation, and like Crosby came running down at one point. I just told him, like, get back on the porch, like not with the mama bear right down the road there. So
they don't have to eat you to kill you, dude. I mean, it doesn't matter that they don't want to eat you, but they'll kill you real quick.
Oh, yeah. No, they'll maul you. And I know the technique. Curl up in a ball and protect your vital organs and hope for the best is what they do.
Yeah, hope for the best. That's one of those injuries that I'm not sure I'd want to live through. Like, I see these people that are, like barely breathing, and they're like, I made it back. Oh, did you want to?
Well, there was a couple of the neighbors out there trying to help me as well, because that's how we found out. Someone was driving by, one of my neighbors, and saw the bears in her minivan and started, ran up to the front door. It was like, you got bears in your car. So, there's an old rule of thumb. You cannot outrun a bear. Bears run very fast. But you don't have to outrun the bear. You only have to outrun the guy next to you. So I felt I was in a good position. Yeah, no, it's a fun neighborhood I live in. So, speaking of the neighborhood I live in, I've had a realization recently that I think is worth sharing with the audience. So I believe I want to start the show off with it. Have you ever seen the videos of people that leave shopping carts spread around the parking lot? Sure. And this guy will go up to them and confront them. Like, here's your cart. Yeah, you didn't take it back to the cart return thing.
Yeah, I love the videos. That guy's created a lot of controversy who does it. But yeah, I love watching him do it because I hate that as well.
What's the controversy that he's created?
The controversy is that, while you can sit and look and judge those people for who they are if you want to, for you to get involved, and especially at the level that he gets involved, he's been shot at. And the controversy is like, for your entertainment, you're going to embarrass people, and then it becomes dangerous for you. So why are you doing it? Dr. Phil had him on. That's the truth.
Really? I didn't realize he was that big. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so here's the thing. I always return my cart to the cart return thing.
Of course.
Long before I saw those videos, I just felt it was the right thing to do. But in a couple of minutes here, we're going to talk about whether or not we're all wasting our lives. I've been contemplating a lot of things of late about job opportunities. Where would I be if this day goes badly, or what am I going to do if job one implodes or whatever? So I've been thinking a lot about these things of late.
Yes.
And the other day at the grocery store, I had the realization that none of us should be returning our carts back to the cart corral. You are actually doing a disservice to the person that works at the grocery store. Do you know why?
Well, you would say I'm taking wage from them or what? I mean, I don't know. Why would I be doing a disservice?
So think about this. If you worked at a grocery store, would it not be a blessing to go outside into the parking lot in the fresh air and collect all of these carts?
No.
I would beg for that job. You have stuff in bags. Let me go wander the parking lot. And if you're all returning it to the cart corral, I'm only out there for 2 minutes.
Yeah,
everywhere. Let me spend my afternoon looking for your carts, please.
You're underthinking this, dude, because we had a friend, Dan Stewart did that job for Costco for a while. Yeah. That was his only job, is he was a cart collector.
Sounds phenomenal.
The amount of work that it was, first of all, his body killed him at the end of every day.
See.
And
why would it?
You're out there in the rain. In your situation, you're out there in the snow. You're thinking of it on a beautiful summer day, just getting a little oxygen.
I'll take it in any condition.
You would slip around your parking lot to try and find carts.
I live in nature. People go hike for fun. Why not let me go hike around?
Because they're idiots and lunatics.
Yeah, well, that's debatable, but sure. I'm just saying, like, if I'm stuck working in a grocery store, let me go outside and let me go out for longer than needed. So don't return the carts. I want to go wander the parking lot and get them, take a few hits, breathe in the fresh air.
Straw man. That's straw man stuff, dude. Come on.
And when the shopping cart goes flying and starts scratching up your nice car, Steve, I'm sure you'll not be happy about that.
Well, I mean, I'm not talking about somebody that's going to leave it on a downhill angle going towards my beautiful car.
All it takes is a gust of wind.
Well, and again, if I'm working at the grocery store, that means I'm parked out back. So I'm sorry if your car got scratched.
No, but I'm talking about, well, not necessarily.
Such a selfish bastard.
At the supermarket where I shop, and the parking lot's big enough that you don't have to park out back. And the only thing that's out back is the trucks that deliver. So
yeah, Steve,
you're looking at this very selfishly. Your grocery store.
No. All right. So what's your point here? I mean,
don't return the carts to the cart return.
That's your whole point, dude.
Yes, you're giving
terrible.
You're giving that person a outing in nature. You're getting them away from the stock room. Let them go wander, please.
Have you interviewed one cart collector to ask this?
I'm putting myself in their shoes.
Well,
I know best.
You put yourself in the shoes of a porn star, and you guarantee you're not going to like that job.
Well, that's a whole other topic. I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to monetize my passions in life. That's
what I'm saying. You got to try things before you comment on them. Okay?
I don't think you're thinking of this correctly.
I am, dude. You want to go play in the parking lot rather than be stuck in work, and I get that. If it's a beautiful day. Hell no, dude.
Pizzas. I loved getting out. Like, you guys stay and wash dishes and do all the crap at the pizza place. I'm going to go wander around outside. Like, that was
you can at least, but you can also be in your air-conditioned car. When it's a hot, humid day and you're having to push around like 15, 20 carts to get them back inside, you're not going to like it so much.
Listen, I think you're showering after your shift at the grocery store no matter what, whether you get wet or snow covered or, sweaty from pushing carts. I'm just saying you're denying an employee the chance to get outside and get some fresh air.
They're at work, dude. They're at work. I mean, I don't get to go outside.
Why are you forcing them to do more of what's bad? Like,
listen, if one of those cart hits a car, now I, as the grocery store, have to pay that out in my insurance. My insurance goes up, all my bills go up. Listen,
that's not how that works. Come on.
Yes, it is, dude. Yes, it is.
Safeway, Raley's, whoever, if someone hits my car with a cart.
Dude, listen, you can sue for anything, and people do all the time. I mean, and Rachel talks about so many cases, dude, that if you want to put the work into bringing it, all these crap cases like this get put through constantly, and you'll probably get $30,000 out of it.
Is this a phenomenon? You're telling me people are suing for cart damage?
It's a phenomenon.
Well, there you go. Is that a fact?
That's a fact.
Yeah,
They-
that's double
they-
certified.
They sue for some milk in the aisle that you slip and fall on.
Yeah,
That
true.
makes sense. You're in their store, not in the parking lot outside.
Their
no, the
carts
parking
belong
lot
to
is-
them.
Exactly, it's part of their store. They're responsible for that.
Well, then, even more reason to leave the carts out there. That's a new monetary source for all of us then, because I know I'm paying too much for groceries. So let me fight back a little. You're just boosting up my case. That's all you're doing.
No, dude. Do you think everyone that goes to the grocery store should sue the grocery store?
Well, if it's a phenomenon, why not get in?
Well, then the grocery store isn't there anymore. They won't be afforded to open.
How about this? Do you remember in like high school when the teacher would be like, we're going to do class outside today? Everyone was like, oh my gosh, this is so nice. We're away from the school. We're outside. It's the same thing.
These all seem like lazy teenager things to me. Like, I don't get to go outside. You're at work, dude. If you want to
Right.
go outside, be a park ranger. You're a grocery store worker.
Right. You sound bitter about that. Like, I don't get to go outside. That would be a blessing if I got to go outside. So let the cart guy spend several minutes out there.
I think it's beyond stupid. Okay? That's what I think of it.
There you.
That's
There's
my
sound
final.
logic behind this. Why would you not want to be outside?
Listen, if I want to go outside, I'll go outside after work. I come to work, dude. I don't come to enjoy my job.
You are just very selfish. That's all I can say.
Okay.
Brewski
All
used
right.
to bag groceries. Didn't he want to go step outside? Stop begging the old lady's groceries. Go get some beer.
Nope, because more times than not, I'd make sure that I was bagging groceries for whatever hot cashier of the moment I was interested in. So I'd want to stay there the entire day.
But I'm just saying.
You would have to have an employee dedicated to just being in the parking lot. That would be a new job, creating a new position.
Potentially, I would volunteer every time. Who wants to go collect carts? That would be me. Please let me go outside.
Go work at a grocery store, dude. What are you doing? I mean, you sound excited about this.
I'm just trying to have some empathy for other people, Nick. I'm sorry that you don't. That's all.
Listen, this is so stupid that you would even try and do this.
I want you to sleep on it. I want you to discuss it with some other people because I think you're going to come around. Like all of my brilliant ideas, everyone pushes back at first, but then time goes on. We all evolve and we come to the realization that, you know what? I think Steve was onto something. So
All
put it
right.
on my list. When I'm dead, everyone's going to go back over my list and realize, like, yeah, Jesus was an alien and it's better to be outside. Okay? These are bold things I'm saying.
All right. Well, I'll sleep on it. I'll give you that just because I like you.
Thank you. Now, this does fall under the category of are we wasting our lives? Because this is how I started on this. Like, maybe I should go work at the grocery store. I think I'd want the job where I'm out getting carts, though, if I worked at the grocery store. So
Anyway,
why
I could
outside
get
long?
the last 15 minutes of my life back to not be wasted, dude.
No, I'm sorry. Although you're editing this episode, so you will.
All right.
Although I forgot to hit my timer. I just started it. So we've been talking for 15 minutes. Is that how
I
long that
don't
was?
know, dude. I don't know.
I don't know.
Like 5 well-spent minutes to me, but
All right.
I digress. We came across this list of these are signs that you're wasting your life. So are these true? Are these not true? Now, Nick, you have told us on the show before that you don't really have regrets. You don't think back of what if you had taken a different path in life. But Brewski and I seem to spend about 25 hours a day thinking about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So where are you at with that? You're still happy with or are you feeling like maybe you're wasting your life? Where are you at?
Listen, I don't really, I mean, I'm not saying I don't have any regrets, but for the most part, like, I like my life. I could have it way worse. I mean, I think if you
That's a terrible
force
metric, though.
perspective to see that though, right? I'm not, do I have other dreams that I haven't met? Is that what you're asking me?
No, I'm asking if you have regrets about the choices you made in life that have put you where you are here and now. If you had chosen a different career, a different partner, or whatever it is.
Not really. Only because I feel like, I'm going to picture the magical life, right? I'm not going to picture the problems that may have come along with that version of life. So I'm not going to daydream on something that's not even real, I suppose, and have a regret over it.
Right.
I won't do it. But I do feel like I'm wasting my life, and I feel like it's because I don't take enough accountability to myself. Like, I have a lot of in my head, like, I'll get to that tomorrow. And I think I have unhealthy amount of I'll get to that tomorrow.
Interesting. Okay.
So in that way, I have started to ponder my life as I wonder if I'm wasting time doing certain things or on the other side of it, not doing things.
Right. I have a certain amount of like wondering if I had stayed in the band or something, if I had stayed in Michigan like that. But I more so nowadays am thinking like, all right, I'm 47. Like I still have a lot of life to live. Like, should I be altering this path? Should we be, I mean, that's part of why we're doing this podcast, quite frankly, is, maximizing what is left in life still. So
it is hard to go through life and not wonder like, maybe now is the time to do it and have some apprehension, have some trepidation about it. And it gets harder as you get older to jump into different things, especially like a career change. Do you feel like you're stuck? Could you do anything else?
That's why I'm wondering what it'd be like to work at the grocery store. So I want the cart job. That's my point. But
all right.
By the way, what you said, that drives me crazy when people say, like, it could be worse. That's a terrible metric to judge your life by. Of course it could be worse. But then so what? Only someone who's had their kid murdered is allowed to complain about life? What about the person that had 2 kids murdered? I mean, it could always be worse.
I think it could be worse is just a wrap-up statement. Like, I don't care if we sit and bitch about all the things that are wrong with our life, but it needs to be ended with, it could be worse, right? I mean, it could be worse because it does leave you with a little perspective and some hope to move forward. You know what I mean?
I see.
Yeah.
I take it as belittling to whatever it was I was complaining about,
No.
When people say, "Oh, that's a first world problem," like, yeah, well, I live in the first world and it's a problem. So what do you want me to do? Because I'm not out hunting goats in the desert, I should be complaining.
Right, yeah. I guess that is just, again, an evaluation of problems. All problems, if we could put problems on a scale, okay, and the 3 of us had to evaluate where they lied 1 through 10 as a big problem down to a little problem, we could come up with something collectively. But if we did them by ourselves, they would be very different. Don't you agree?
Yes, that is a core therapeutic thing you just said right there. All pain is relative.
Yes.
If I break my arm, I could be in terrible pain and now I can't work for this week. The lady across the street just had her kid run over. Like, of course her pain is worse, but you can't compare pain. It's all relative to you. You only know you.
It can be tough when you're going through something huge to minimize somebody else's pain because, like, gosh, that's half of what I'm going through, but not to them, right? Yeah. So, I heard somebody recently say something that I thought was stupid, that they were afraid of something. And I thought, how could you be afraid of that? In my head, I thought through this, and then I understood why they were afraid of it, and it made so much more sense. It wasn't so stupid after all, you know? So everyone's got a problem. That's what I'm trying to say, and they're all just as big.
Well, so let's determine if we're wasting our lives or not.
Yes.
A lack of passion. One of the signs that you may be wasting your life is the lack of genuine passion or enthusiasm for your current engagements.
I think it's huge. Well, then that's part of what I'm talking about is like, I miss some of the passion that I had about certain things in my life. And I think as you get older, a lot of people start to let it go. Mm-hmm. Because all that passion comes with risk, right? We get comfortable, dude. We get real comfortable, and you got to take a little risk to get that passion back. That's, I guess, what I'm pondering.
Yeah, no, I think that's accurate. You know, career-wise or relationship-wise, you can become complacent at some point, but I don't know that that's a good thing. I mean, in relationships, you should probably be, I don't want to say complacent, but you should be happy with where you're at.
100%, yeah.
But career-wise, I don't know. I mean, I could see some careers where you're like, I've reached the top. Like, what else am I supposed to be doing? But I feel on the radio side, my passion has been dying, partially because radio's been strangling me in a bathtub. This podcast, I've told everyone, like, this is what I look forward to every week. Like, this is where my passion lies. This is why we're all just doing it to do it, hoping it takes off. And, because I need something to be passionate about. I've never lived any portion of my life without something I'm going after.
Right. And it feels odd, doesn't it? It feels like something that ignites you as a person is missing.
Yeah. No, it's a good reason to get up. I've always said if I wake up in the morning and I just dread going to work or whatever, like, you should probably stop whatever it is you're doing.
Yeah.
Here's another thing I wonder in relation to that of wasting my life. I am a guy who has always gone and done a job. I'll be there 5 years before I know it. Like have always stayed at jobs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Long term. Yeah. Which I suppose could be looked at as a good thing, but it could also be looked as I was too afraid to jump to try different places, you know?
Yeah. Brewski, how's your passion level? How you feeling?
Well, it's not anywhere where I'd like it to be, but there's not a lot I feel a lot passionate about. I mean, this obviously what we're doing now, I feel passion for. Mm. You know, when I'm writing, I kind of have passion for that, but everything else right now in my life, I'm just doing what I have to do to survive. Exactly.
You're going through the motions.
But I think that's part of the mix of life. Like, if you're only pursuing your passions in life, you don't have to worry about bills or whatever. Like, kudos to you. I don't know how you did that.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's a lot of people who simply, and I used to work in factories with them, like they have no passion, they have no joy for life, and they've just come to accept that. At least the three of us are doing things like this or pursuing hobbies or whatever, you know.
I worked with guys when I worked at the machine shop with my dad, and these guys worked at the same place for 35, 40 years, and they would come in even on Saturdays, and they'd stay there 8, 10, sometimes 11 hours, not always working, but to them, it was better than being at home with their wife. And I'm like, well, why don't you just split up from her? Oh, I can't do that. I can't do that. You know, but why not? If you're that miserable, just leave, you know?
This is an older mentality. I feel like this has started to change, and it hasn't caught up with us completely, but the youth of today doesn't stick around in situations like that as much. I think that they're okay to move on, and they're minimalistic about what they're doing, and they're just going places.
Yeah. We've talked about it with jobs before, that a lot of the younger kids are, staying at a job for a year and moving on, but also the marriage rates. Like, marriage is not what it used to be. It's not.
Yeah.
Well, and then you add in all the polyamory stuff and all that sort of thing, and the ethical non-monogamy, where they're able to, even if they're married, they're able to go off and date other people and all that sort of thing.
Right.
Because to them, they don't believe that one person satisfies everything that you need emotionally. And
right.
This is what I've been told.
I feel the grass is greener complex is a major contributing factor to why I got divorced. You know, my ex-wife, I think, just had this notion of like, I want to find the perfect man, something just bigger and better. I know we've been together all these years and we have kids, but I need something even better. Not that I'm perfect by any means, but that's my point. No one is. Like, relationship is the good and the bad, for better, for worse, all that kind of stuff. And
so it'll be a long hunt for her.
Right. I'm just saying, the grass is always greener complex. You can really destroy careers, relationships, a whole lot of stuff with that.
Oh, yeah.
Just watch High Fidelity. I feel like that's why I recommend High Fidelity to everyone, because it'll get it out of your system, dude.
Yeah, no, it's a very good point. Speaking of things that Nick has mentioned, High Fidelity is one of his favorite movies, of course, but you literally just brought this one up right here. These are signs that you're wasting your life. Chronic procrastination indicates that you're not making the most of your time. When you're consistently putting off important tasks, struggle to take action, and feel the weight of precious moments slipping away, it's a sign that you may be squandering valuable opportunities.
Mm. Yeah, well, that gives me anxiety. But, it's me, dude.
It says Dear Nick at the beginning of it. So.
Yeah, it's my AI assistant. Listen, I have been thinking about this lately because I feel guilty for some of it, I'm trying to figure it out. I have too many things in my bread box. I would like to eat a sandwich in a timely manner. Too much in my bread box. I just need to get rid of some things and focus on this set of things. And then I won't procrastinate.
That's fair. I have taken on procrastination of late as a therapeutic. Like, it's okay to stop for an hour, just watch a stupid movie or something. Like,
sure.
I'm just constantly with work things and kid things and relationships.
Yeah.
Bills to pay, mouths to feed. It's okay to procrastinate. It's okay to take a lazy Sunday.
Yes.
But if you're chronically doing it, then that might be a bigger sign. Do you feel you're really chronically doing it or selectively doing it?
I don't feel like I'm wasting days. Like I'm not feeling like I'm lazy every day. It's just become too much. But I feel like there's a lot of things, for example, that I said when summer started that I wanted to get done this summer. And my list of those things is not very long of what I got done. Around the house, stuff like that,
Sure.
So yeah, I mean, I'm obviously wasting time, and there's days where I feel bad about it, and there's days where I don't feel bad about it.
See, now I've noticed at work with you that you mention some things you procrastinate on, or there's times I'm talking to you. Nick goes on air at 10 a.m. and at 9:59 I'm talking to him, and he's like, "I should probably get on the air." You always do it. You may procrastinate, but you get on air, you do your shift, you get the new music put in, even if you wait a week, like you get it done. So
yeah.
Is that really procrastination? I think true procrastination is you never get to that stuff, but you seem to get to all your things.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
The things you have to do. The home projects you're talking about, maybe not.
Yes. And some of those things, you know what? Candidly speaking, some of those things were on Rachel's list, and that becomes a part of my thought process. Did I put her second? To anything that I was doing, like, why can I let some of the stuff she wants me to do go? Like, well, I didn't get to it, but all my stuff I got to. And I'm not saying that with everything, but that thought process,
Right. I think it's a sign you're a good person. You feel guilty that you didn't get to everything she wanted you to get to.
Yeah. I appreciate it. I don't know if that's it, but I appreciate the sentiment.
Maybe I'm compensating for my own, my own honey-to-do list, honey-do list or whatever. So, Brewski, how's your procrastination doing in life?
It's funny you asked that, because yesterday my sister told me that she had reached out to the handyman that works for her and asked if he could come by to do some yard work for us. I'm like, why are you doing that? Well, you've been saying for weeks that you're going to do this and that. And
right.
I just thought I'd get it done because you're so busy. I'm like, no, I'm not busy. I'm just putting it off because I don't really want to do it.
But don't pay someone else.
But here's the thing though. I didn't get in and get to bed this morning until almost 4.
Right. Working all night.
I set my alarm for 7 o'clock because I was just like, you know what? I don't care. I'll get up after 3 hours. I'll go do the damn yard work in the morning and then come back inside and get some more sleep before the show.
Okay.
You know what? It's been raining all day today.
Oh, shucks.
But I was ready to. No, I was so ready to do it.
Yes.
Jeez, I mean, at least my sister doesn't nag me like the Jen used to, all the time. I'd always have to be busy every damn weekend. Why don't we go? Why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? Why don't we go here? Why don't we go there? And right. I'm just like, I've worked all week, give me some time,
Yeah. I'm very fortunate that Rachel doesn't nag me. Every once in a while, she'll nag at me. I'll know if I've gone way too far of letting something go. But for the most part, she's not on my case a whole bunch. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, it's good. I've been struggling in therapy of rewiring my brain between something being selfish and something being self-care.
Yeah.
I feel selfish when I sit around and watch a movie or go ride my dirt bike, but that kind of stuff is self-care. And so I got to get that out of my mindset because I do get to everything for everyone else always. It's...
No, you need to be able to distinguish between self-care like that, and you need to take some time, Harness.
Even if I don't take it out and play with it, I still like seeing it. So.
Well, you got to see it more often.
Yes. And sometimes I do draw a line. I showed up at Dottie's this weekend, and it was late in the day, and she had some things that she wanted to get done at the house, and I'd say, it's kind of date night. The day's gone. I promise we'll get these done, but we got to set aside time. But
I left my tool belt.
Right. Right now, you and I need to go do self-care. Let's have a fun evening,
Oh, that's interesting. Self-care together, right, is what you needed. Yeah.
Doesn't always have to be individual. So
Sure.
All right. Other signs you're wasting your life. Overwhelming routines. If your daily routine feels monotonous and unfulfilling, it's a sign that you may be stuck in a rut. So unraveling that routine with room for personal growth, new experiences, hobbies, etc. might be a good way to break out. I didn't mean to set that segment up right there, but that's exactly what we were just saying. So
yeah, this is so depressing. I mean, this really is depressing if you think about it.
Well, and it kind of depends. Some lives, like radio, that we're working in, that is nothing but routine. It's a 24-hour rotation, and there are consistent things and deadlines. Every day does look the same to some extent, but
yeah.
But yeah, your overall life, I don't know. I mean, I'm very routine oriented. I can tell you if you say, where would you be at a Tuesday at 3:00? Like, I know where it is, but I don't look at that as wasting my life. It's kind of organized, right? I don't know.
Well, yeah. I mean, you have a sense of OCD, not diagnosed, but you are somewhat. So you need that routine, dude. That's good for you. And I need a routine as well. I figure as I get older, I get a little more comfortable in my own environment. You know what I mean? Like, I could have used to just gone in my teens and like gone to a concert and slept on anyone's floor and been all right with it,
right.
And like, I am too comfortable for that kind of stuff now.
Right. There's a part of adulting that requires routine, I think. But
yes. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're, like I said earlier, if you're waking up every morning just dreading life because it's the same old every day, then that's probably a little different and probably should be an alarm bell.
Sure. Get your passions, I guess. That's so far the moral to the story is get your passion on.
Right. Dr. Brewski, thoughts?
Well, I agree on everything you guys were saying. You have to take care of the things you need to take care of every day, but you also need to take time out for yourself, and you need to know when to say no to people as well. That's always the difficult thing for a lot of people, is to say no to people, because then you feel like, oh, geez, I said no to them, and I really feel like a jerk. But sometimes you have to do that.
That is correct.
Now, I was going to ask you, Steve. Now, since your oldest is driving now, do you find that you have to do less things for them?
Absolutely. When Neo was born, I had the year 18 was in my brain. I got to get this kid to 18 because then they're self-sustained and all that. I realize now 16 is really the number you're aiming for, if you can get your kid a car at least. Because Neo, I hardly ever see Neo anymore. I mean, the kid's working like 2 different jobs, theater, high school, and can drive themselves to all of these things. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
I saw that coming, by the way. My ex always used to give me grief about, you're constantly driving that kid around. I'm like, yeah. And one day soon, they will never need me to do that again. So I'm going to just soak it in for now.
Enjoy it while you can. Yeah.
I'll never forget the last diaper I changed. There was a bit of sentiment that went into it. It was choked me up. I said, this is the last poopy diaper I am ever going to change.
Those poos do choke you up. I hear you. Who burns?
This is a public service announcement.
Moving on. Signs you're wasting your life. This one, boy, this was a painful realization for me to finally come to. If you're in unhealthy relationships, toxic or unfulfilling relationships can drain your energy and prevent you from living a fulfilling life. Surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals who uplift and encourage you can contribute to a more positive and fulfilling journey of self-development. That sounds so obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't tell you how many years of my life I justified, not being with a like-minded person or putting up with all these shortcomings or whatnot, or incompatibility things. Listening to country music because I thought I was being a good guy.
Does that just change when you can look at it in the rearview mirror? Because,
yes.
I mean that otherwise you would have gotten out of it or away from it. Like, life was okay for you at that moment, and you just now are enlightened and realize, like, poof, I can't believe I used to didn't wear deodorant. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, it's relative. Like, you don't know what you don't know. So if you're in your current life and you're like, hey, these 10 things are good, I can put up with the 5 bad things. It's not until you experience something where, hey, there's 15 good things and only 1 bad thing, like, you start to realize, like, geez, was I settling all of those years? Was I putting up with crap that I didn't need to?
Yeah.
And for me, at least, the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
I don't have that in my life. I mean, I feel good in the relationship that I'm in, and I know it's a healthy relationship. It hasn't always been that way, but my current relationship in marriage is that. So I'm grateful.
Well, and there were some incompatibilities with previous long-term relationships you had that I'm aware of. That I think once you got out of it and were with Rachel, you started realizing, like, I was sacrificing some things that didn't need to be, and that's
settling in a lot of ways, Yeah. Yeah. No, I was in a very long-term relationship with Heather for, over a decade. And we've talked about this on the show before. That was a hard one only because, like, I didn't have any vitriol for her. It just took me a long time to be able to step away from somebody I cared about. And then I did realize, like, I was sacrificing a lot of myself that didn't need to be sacrificed.
Yep. And this brings me to the last thing on my list, fear of change. Strong resistance to change or fear of stepping out of your comfort zone can hinder personal growth and limit your experiences. I think that's why people stay in toxic relationships,
Yeah.
You're fearful to change, or maybe it's worse if I go with someone else,
Yeah, 100%. It's are you ready to jump off the ledge?
Are you ready to take that risk and do what you need to do to make things happen? Or are you just going to stay where you are, kind of stagnant and comfortable? Even though you are uncomfortable and unhappy, you're still to some extent comfortable because you're not making a change.
Yeah, 100%. And that's why we only see it in hindsight, right?
It's hard to predict what something might feel like, or hard to assume you can trade up or whatever it is, job-wise, relationship-wise.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was talking to my sister just last week, and so right when I first started working at KJR, one day I was waiting for Jen. She came to pick Penelope and I up, and she just out of the blue says to me, "Don't you think you'd be happier with someone else?"
Yeah, and that was a shock to you, but not really, right?
Well, and I kept saying to her, "No, of course not. I want to stay with you." But then in hindsight, I said to myself, I probably should have taken that opportunity to go and do something else.
Right. Well, at least to analyze it, right? And make some evaluation on the current relationship. Sometimes we get lost in it and don't really look at it.
Yeah.
I just can't believe you're making a Scorpions reference all of a sudden. That's Brewski's category.
Yeah, exactly.
Dare you step on his toes?
I'm just playing When to Change for Brewski, dude. Relax.
I want to take my lighter out now.
Yeah.
When to change are hard.
In all sincerity.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I can't do it with the song. Okay, hold on.
Well, you could have also brought up Changes by David Bowie.
Yeah, that probably would have been better, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Brewski, I'm sorry that happened to you, but at the same time, you probably were ready for it too.
Well, no, I should have at that time, though. In hindsight, I say to myself, I should have taken advantage of it at that time and just gone and got my own apartment. And hey, if you want to stay in the house in Tacoma, that's fine. I'm keeping the dog, whatever. Yeah.
Speaking of the winds of change and new relationships and is the grass greener, I still haven't farted in front of Dottie.
What's going on?
Just get it done. Just go and get it done.
I'll tell you, the other about a week or so ago, we were in bed. And I'm like, all right, this is it. I'm doing it, and I let it fly. It was silent. I was just like, good grief.
Did it smell?
Wait a minute. You didn't even give her a Dutch oven?
No, you guys want me to do the most extreme.
No, I don't. Why are you lumping me into that, dude? We just want you to finally let it go.
She hasn't farted either. Like, I don't think either of us
that you know of.
Yeah. I'm sure she's let some silent ones, dude.
Right. I tried. I felt it was a sign from God. Like, don't do it.
Why don't you bring it up verbally and be like, the next time I have to fart in front of you, I'm just going to do it just an FYI. Just give her a little warning.
And
I bring it up on the show. I'm waiting for the text of like, just fart in front of me already. Like I don't want to bring this up in person. So,
all right. Well, hopefully she heard it right here first, Dottie. Please bring it up.
I'm certain that she's going to be like, well, what's the big deal? Yeah, just do it.
I know, but I'm percussive. When she hears it, she may be offended. I don't know. I've had some women be like, what is going on? Is that a tuba?
You got some bun shakers going on there.
I know
bun shakers.
Right.
Steve, I just want to prepare her. Steve oftentimes lifts one leg when he farts and kind of shakes it out of his foot at the bottom, like, kind of gives it a little hop along to get it out. So just be prepared.
It's true.
Did you have something else coming out too, or
no? That's why I'm shaking. Make sure just all the gas gets down there correctly. And it's a fine-tuned instrument down there. You have a good baritone happening, and I want to make sure it represents every time. So
the old butt trumpet.
Yes, exactly.
You know what? You have to ask Dottie then if that's the case. You have to ask her to give you a rusty trombone.
No, why do you do this? Why?
No, dude.
No, I don't
you said it's a finely tuned instrument, so why not just go though and just do the rusty trombone?
Yeah, why not? You're right.
You know what it is?
Go, tell us, Brewski, please.
What is it?
So a rusty trombone is when you kind of stand up and kind of bend yourself forward, and your lady inserts her tongue into your anus, and then while she's doing that, she reaches over with her hand, and like a trombone, she kind of moves it back and forth and jerks you and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's a rusty trombone.
Why
It's time
not?
for another brewski. This one is a crazy brewski.
Yes. Nick was describing the Dirty Sanchez last week, and I threw up in my mouth. I was driving around my car.
Jesus.
So I think there are valid reasons I haven't done any of those.
Dottie is thankful that you haven't taken any of Brewski's recommendations, I'm sure.
I have fears of abandonment. I just feel that may be the thing that breaks the
pushes her over the line.
Literally. I mean, it could be.
Hey, Brewski, will you do me a favor? Unrelated topic. Will you, from this point forward, when we're on the air, keep a tally of when and how often Steve brings up porno? Okay?
Brings up what?
Porno.
Porno.
Oh, porn.
Well, yeah, porn.
Okay.
He's being international.
Yes. So if you could just keep a tally, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then line through it, just keep a tally going.
Please do. What is your off the cuff answer, though? Both of you. Do I talk about porn a lot on this show?
I don't think so.
Thank you. Okay.
Maybe Nick is hearing something I'm not. I don't know.
I don't know.
Listen.
Do you feel I do?
You two,
Some people feel I do, apparently.
you two, but see, you two have the synergistic brain between you. So you might be thinking of porn, and Nick's picking up on your brain waves.
Yeah, that's right. It could be just silent. I'm picking it up quite frequently. Listen, you don't bring it up by yourself a lot. Do you talk about it and have very strong opinions on it? Yes, you do.
This is a talk show. I mean, I don't
But
know.
wait,
So-
now let's all remember, for those who weren't listeners when we were on the air in Seattle, that Steve used to have somebody in the studio that would find porn and put porn up on the computer screen for him while the show was going on.
Oh, it was a paid employee.
And that's all the person did.
Yeah.
That's all he did. Except, he might make a stupid comment here and there, but other than that, he did nothing but sit in the studio with Steve and find porn.
That's
Yeah.
pretty fair, actually.
Yeah.
It was, I like visual reminders. It gets me motivated. Any of that is, it benefits the rest of you more than it benefits me. That's my point.
Could anyone ever take porn away from you?
I don't know
No.
why they'd want to.
But could they?
Can I survive
my cold,
without
dead
that?
hands?
Sure, but-
You know what? Dottie got you to stop wearing ripped jeans. Will there come a point where maybe she will say, yeah, it's enough with the porno? Will you listen?
Well, just like I wear ripped jeans when I'm away from her, then I get that have to be on the rest
We're
of it
putting a
goes.
TV in the bathroom on. That's
As
funny.
I need to explain, that's like telling an athlete, why are you watching game films? Don't you know how to play the sport already? I got to get ready for the big game on Sunday, okay? So you should want me, if you're betting on me, you should want me to watch the old game films and get all fired up. So.
All right. Well, just keep the tally going. Okay, Brewski?
It was funny. I asked
well,
Nick that the other day. Do I talk about porn a lot on the show? And he was like, well, no. I mean, last week you talked about, not wanting,
Circumcised.
uncircumcised porn. I was like, dude, that was on today's show. That wasn't last week. Maybe we do talk about it a lot.
Oh, I'll tell you this. If I talk about porn, it's usually here. I haven't talked about any porn at all except for here. So it's with you guys. So you are a piece in the puzzle.
Right. I don't go around talking at the grocery store about it.
You don't.
It's right here.
Last week I was in the grocery store and there was this really hot, she had to be at least 62 or 63-year-old woman that I would love to have gone over and talked porn with.
Did you get the produce section? I mean, how long were you just
Hot granny sex.
What are you thinking, dude? I mean, is she hot?
Yeah, she was really hot. And
curious about her life?
She was really tan though. That was and which is not unusual for this where I live. There are a lot of folks that are Italian where I live, and they tend to, the ladies like to be out and tan a lot and that sort of thing.
Sure.
But for an older woman, she was really attractive, and I was having some really, really bad thoughts. I really was.
Did you have a wood?
No, not right then, but a few minutes later at the checkout counter, I did.
Did you rub it up against the counter at all?
No, not at all. But I was
a little self checkout. If you know what I mean.
No, this store actually does not have self checkout.
That's not what I meant.
Oh, I get it. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I should have given you this.
Obviously, I did something when I came home, but
Why did you mow the lawn?
No, I was yanking the horn like you wouldn't believe.
Thinking of her?
She was hot. I'm telling you.
Well, this goes into something we've talked about before, and on the topic of, how much porn am I watching in life? Like, I'm a visual learner. Nick has talked about Spank Bank, that he can pull up mental images. I can't do that at all. I need visual stimuli. And as I've also mentioned, I want it to look like my person. Like, that's the whole point.
Oh, no, I don't need that. Because there are people in my life in the Seattle area who has become single within the past year. I can think about her and no problem whatsoever.
Interesting.
I have
on a desert island, maybe.
I have fantasies of going where she cuts hair and her saying, "Hey, how about I do something more for you?" You
do? Is that what you think about?
Yeah, she's an attractive woman. What can I say?
Oh, why don't you tell her?
Because the problem is that we have a lot of mutual friends, and in case she doesn't reciprocate that, I don't want to get. Because here's the other thing too: is her ex-husband thought that I was kissing her ass because he said that he was basically hacking her Facebook account and looking at her messages. I said to him, "Is there a reason why we're not friends anymore?" And he's like, "Yeah, you suck up." I saw what you typed to her.
Maybe it makes you extra horny because there's a little danger involved.
I don't know, man.
How often do you think about it? Like that particular scenario?
Oh, at least once a week, I'd say.
Okay. Is 50-50 of your masturbatory practice done from porn and Spank Bank? Is it a clean 50 split, or where are we at?
It's more 60-40 having something to watch or look at than it is, yeah.
Wow.
But I do have certain things and certain women that I can think about, and I can get the job done.
Interesting. Nick, what's your ratio?
20-80.
20 porn to 80 Spank Bank?
No, 20 Spank Bank to 80 porn. Mm-hmm. Yeah. When's the last time you've roughed up your suspect by just memory, Spank Bank?
When I was like 14 or something?
Really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm 100%. I need straight visual stimuli.
Could you get a boner right now is my main question. Like, if I said, can you get a boner right now if we're quiet? Could you do it?
Challenge accepted. Who's here?
Just by thinking.
But I'm looking at you guys. This is not. Right.
Close your eyes, dude. Pretend that we're not here.
Again, like if you're betting me, or if I'm stranded on a desert island, if I'm in solitary confinement in prison, could I do it? Sure.
All right.
But with technology around me, I don't know why I ever possibly would. And I will tell you, in this modern day and age, where women send various, nude pics and videos, or videos I've made with exes.
Yeah.
I have had one or two, like when we break up, and I'm thinking of two in particular, be like, "Hey, you need to delete all that stuff." And I was like,
yeah.
already deleted. You think I ever want to see that again? I don't want to reminisce about the past stuff. Like,
Right.
no, I'm in the here and now. So that to me defeats the whole spank bank thing. Like, I can. There's no ex I want to go back and reminisce about. I'm in the here and forward.
It doesn't have to be an ex. It can just be a spank bank of Dottie. I mean, thinking about what you guys, did last Saturday.
See, it's funny because when you just gave me that little challenge, that's immediately where my brain went to. Like, all right, if I think about current events, then, sure. But
You could do
if I
it.
start thinking about exes, oh, God, all the tanglements, everything else just comes bursting in my brain, and that's no fun at all.
Fair. That's fair,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I feel like you've grown a little bit today because that's the first time you've ever got horny thinking. Just thinking.
I've grown a little bit, I guess. But I wouldn't call it full on.
You don't have a
you
boner
meant-
yet.
No, sorry.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I was just reading an article about a politician, a woman who somebody revenge porned her. They sent it to a newspaper in town, and the newspaper published it. The story, not the images per se, but they talked about the fact that we have this video and whatnot. And I think in this modern day and age, we got to get away from shaming the woman who was in the porn and shaming the guy that holds on to it and then distributes it around
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
to friends or whatever it is,
Yeah, no, I think you're probably completely right. That brings up the same topic, though, of like all the sex tapes that have been released or even nudes of certain celebrities that have been hacked and stuff like that. Would you go to look at it?
No, that's a good question. I mean, I certainly watched Pam and Tommy when that came out. I can't think of any recent though, celebrity that came out, but I know Brewski looks at every celebrity. I think half of them are fake that you bring up on this show because you've seen every celebrity nude apparently.
Almost, but I'll tell you what, there's one that I keep going back to though, and it's Jennifer Lawrence.
Jennifer. Oh, yeah, and those were leaked pictures. You're good with it morally.
Not good with her privacy being invaded, but good that I got to see them.
Once we're out there, what's the harm?
That's,
right?
that's what I
I'm on
mean,
it.
though. You're okay morally going back to them and being part of the problem.
Okay, so is it part of the problem if I look at pictures of her as Mystique and have fantasies about her as Mystique and hooking up with her?
No, just her nudes that were,
from her cell
ripped
phone?
off. Yeah.
Yeah, even if I feel guilty about being part of the problem, it's still there. I'm not going to deny myself, especially the video of her with the guy she was with.
Right.
But if everyone
views not
denied
changed.
it would go away.
No, it wouldn't.
If everyone denied it, it would.
You're not going to get
Everyone.
everyone to. You're not going to get everyone to do that though.
Right.
Uh-huh.
So what's
Well,
one more
we-
view, right?
We are a voyeuristic society, especially when it comes to celebrities.
Yeah.
It's just, that's why tabloids have been around for as long as Hollywood's been around.
All fair and true. I also need good cinematography, good lighting. Most leaked, couples tapes they're terrible. Like there's nothing good visual going on there. I mean,
You didn't watch Kim Kardashian?
no, and I'm really not into her. So, I mean, if a Jennifer Aniston porn was leaked, yeah, I'd probably go watch it. Is it jerk worthy? I don't know. That would depend on who was filming it. But I'd be curious enough to want to see. Sure.
Who was the cinematographer?
Right. I mean, we need lighting, people. I mean,
Well, to that point, and again, I'm going to reference him again, but friend of the show, Doug Stanhope, always says, well, he started off on his special from across the street. You know what's wrong with child pornography?
oh boy, yeah.
No credits.
Oh, well, listen, I will say that I don't know if, I don't know where he sits as friend of the show. Why are you not responding to our own Brewski, who sits front row and fanboys out on you? Why are you not responding and coming on the podcast?
Well, that's because I haven't sent my bribe to him yet. So
Oh, I see. All right.
I'm still working on procuring the not so legal things that I'm going to bribe him with. These particular items are quite magical.
Ah, okay. You really think he needs to be bribed with narcotics of any type?
No, but it'd be fun to do it anyway because I have a source that I just haven't been able to go by and go to, and I haven't seen this source of mine in a while. So it's kind of like a little twofold thing.
I see. Well, we look forward to him coming on. He
Well,
was
we'll
once
see.
on the show, so he's always a friend to us, right?
Yeah.
This is true.
Has there been any good celebrity leak in recent years? I can't even think of one.
Somebody was just leaked. I mean, yes, not as far as for sex tape, but a lot of nudes of celebrities have been released that, were hijacked off their cloud or whatever,
Yeah.
The question
any
is,
highlights?
just go look at it, dude. Do you want to look at it and perpetuate the problem? Jennifer Lawrence came out and said, hey, a true fan, please respect me. Don't look at the pictures. They weren't supposed
stop
to be
it.
out.
Yeah, I'm not going to. Come on. If you tell me I can see Jennifer Lawrence completely naked, yeah, I'm going to go. I just am.
All right. Well, it sounds like you already did it.
Oh, I have several times.
All right. Well, I don't know what to tell you. I'm just telling you what she said. You don't have any respect for Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh, stop it.
Do you have any respect for her?
I don't know her. In order to respect them, you have to know them.
Yeah. I would actually tend to agree with Brewski on that. Like, I don't personally know Jennifer Aniston or whatever, so I'm not. What am I violating?
You
Yeah,
don't respect
exactly.
her? You have no respect for people you don't know. That's what you're saying? And
Well,
that's
this
the
gets
question.
back to the Bruce Willis thing about whether we should all be leaving him alone because he asked us to. Like, I don't know you from a hole in the wall. Like, if there's something newsworthy or picture worthy, I'll probably go check it out. And yeah, that's why there are paparazzi and everything, because people are curious and you put yourself out there. If Jennifer Lawrence was my next door neighbor, I'd respect her and not go look at the picture. But
So you don't mind not respecting people behind closed doors.
that is what I'm saying.
That's what you're saying. Okay. All right. That's what I was wondering. You guys are disrespectful, dude. You guys are so disrespectful. Why if your mom has a friend named Helen, Steve,
Yeah.
and she tells you all these great things about Helen, because you've never met her, you're not going to have a little respect for her?
I guess the answer is no, because you told me to respect Bruce Willis, and I said no. I'm not. Just 'cause
Yes.
You told me to. I'm not.
He's
going
staying consistent.
He is. You can never say, like, I'm a true fan of Bruce Willis. You can never say that again.
I guess not. But if Jennifer Aniston did a well-lit, filmed porn that was never meant to be leaked, would I watch it?
Wait a minute. I get why you want the lighting, but why does it have to be well filmed?
Because he's porno.
Is it artsy? Is this a?
No, I don't need a plot or anything. I just mean well filmed as far as can I see the action? Is it some, camcorder, someone stuck in the corner and I'm just like getting glimpses of stuff?
You don't want to wonder, is that her nipple? No, that's her elbow.
Well, I always like to say, when it comes to pornography, I don't want anything left to my imagination.
Yes, exactly.
Like those Skinamax porns at like 3 a.m, where like they like show like the back of the woman's head moving up and down, and you're like, well, what is this? Am I supposed to get excited over that? No, I want to see what's going on.
I used to get excited about the scrambled channel of Skinamax. So
We've evolved from that, right? 'Cause back in those days, it was hard to find any of that. So,
And when you did see a scrambled nipple, you were like, yeah, I
just
saw
saw
a nipple.
I just saw nipple.
exactly. Here's the overall point. I obviously don't talk about porn all the time, so I don't know where this is coming from.
Well, we discussed a lot today. A lot of it was depressing. Some of it was uplifting. And, of course, we ended on a good note with porno.
Life is all about balance, and this show represents that very nicely. So,
Yes, indeed.
yeah. Find us on the website. Find us on the social medias.
Yes. TheVocalMinority.net. Say goodbye, Brewski.
Goodbye, Brewski.
And we say bye-bye.
Test 1 2, test 1 2.
Stop.